Zoya, so good to see you.
Hello, Fatima.
Even
How are
if it's
you?
digitally. I'm very good, thank you. Firstly, massive congratulations on the trailer of the Archies. I
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed watching that.
Thank you.
Definitely lots of nostalgia, especially for people like us who live here in the Western world. We've grown up with those comics. And obviously, it's a really big coup for you, Netflix, and getting the first official rights to make the first Archie's film remake, and that too with a star cast of newcomers who already have a huge following. Tell us about that journey.
I never ever thought that this would happen. I've grown up reading the Archies. I'm a huge fan of the comic, and it's a very special and a very big part of my childhood and my coming of age. So when this came to me, this was offered to me, I was so excited, but I needed to find a way to do it because the brief was we want to retain the original characters, the original character names, and we want the wholesome old world quality of that comic, which is the only way to do it because that's what the comic means to me. I think Rima and me took a stab at how we would adapt it, and once we felt that we could do it in this particular tone and way, and we pitched it to Netflix and to John Goldwater at Archies, and they went for it. It's just been pure joy since then.
Fantastic. And it's such a big star cast, so I'm just trying to imagine, what was the first day on set like?
The first day on set, we usually try to keep it a little simple. So that everyone can break in, the crew can kind of, get used to each other. So the first day on set on this film was we shot Archie, Jughead, and the band singing Suno in the garage. That's all we shot. We had Archie and Jughead from the lead cast. They were the only two working that day. We had a song playing, Suno, so everybody was kind of getting used to it. We had one set which was the garage, but all the actors came. Everybody came on the first day of set. Everybody hung out the whole day, and that was it. It was like a big picnic. Once you break the ice, once people start getting used to each other, all the teething happens in the first few days. By the first week, the machine is going.
Taking over. And I want to ask, what are you like as a director? Are you very disciplined, or do you like to have a lot of fun on sets?
I'm disciplined in my prep. I'm one of those directors that likes to do a lot of prep, so I'm relaxed on set. I like my set to have an easy vibe. I work with top-notch technicians and top-notch artists, so I don't really need to ever worry about if someone's doing their job or no, because they're really on the ball. They make my life really easy and they make me look really good. So I work with, and I keep repeating the same crew, so like we are almost like a family now. Everybody knows everybody knows everyone's idiosyncrasies, everyone's strengths, so it's a well-oiled machine. And I like my set to be a place that's comfortable, that's relaxed. We're making movies, and we're lucky because we go to work and we love what we do, and I think it's important to enjoy that. Of course, we're very serious about the work we do, but we want to have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's great. There's a balance there, clearly, isn't there, in terms of having fun, but also sticking to the job at hand.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my question about the characters, because they're all characters we're familiar with. We've read them in the comics, and I assume, obviously we haven't seen it, but the trailer does give little glimpse that they obviously have been adapted slightly to suit
Yes.
the nuances of the Indian diaspora and the backdrop of Riverdale being. But when you go onto set, and your interpretation, obviously, firstly as a writer, as a director, of the characters will be a particular way. But your actor on set may interpret the nuances of that character slightly differently. How flexible are you when it comes to that? If they have, would you go with that flow, or are you very strict and you stick to the script?
That stage, what you're talking about, happens in prep. For me,
yeah,
because
okay.
Whether it's newcomers or established actors, most people like to form a bond and form a relationship with their character and with their director before you get onto a set. So when you're working with actors, you have to co-create that character, even though you've written it. Yes, you come with something, but there is a completely different journey for an actor, you know. They have a different psychology to get to the action that this actor needs to do. So you have to make space for that. And I believe in co-creating characters, and I think that happens way before we get to set. You know, so sometimes they'll come up with something that'll be, or they'll come up with a trait, or they'll come up with a habit, or they'll come up with a reaction, or an emotional response to something that I wouldn't have thought of, you know, and I love it and I'll incorporate it. Or if I don't think that works, I will explain to them why it doesn't work, and that'll align them better. But it's something that I do before I get to set, because by then you're kind of cooked, you know. So when you get to set, there's another alchemy, because you're in your costume, you're in a location, you're in a world. So that alchemy with that actor is something very different. And now there's a camera. So these kind of things need to be ironed out way before.
Good. Now you've got seven stars really launching, some mainly newcomers. If you were able to give us one quality of each of those seven that's bringing to life the Archies, what would you give about each of them?
That gives to life the character in the Archies on some level. I think with Archie, it's the innocence. I think with Reggie, it's the swag. I think with Dilton, it's the curiosity, the intellect. With Jughead, he's a foodie, and Mihir is a foodie. And Mihir is versatile, and he can play different emotions very quickly. With Betty, it's vulnerability. With Ethel, it's quirk and sassiness. And I think with Veronica, it is she's a princess you can't help but fall in love with.
My last question, I think this brings it aptly to your theme, which is a wonderful theme. You're never too young to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you're never too young, and I would ask this question to you. In the world that you live in at the moment, what would you like to change about the world that you live in at the moment?
If I had a magic wand and I could change anything in the world, A, peace everywhere, and B, no hunger. Two things.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.